Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brit Howell and this is Nitro Autolab. If you guys could please smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it, because to leave a comment down below, I don't care what it is, it super helps the channel out. Now it's Friday morning, we're back in the shop, it's bright and early. We do have a 2017 Ford Mustang in the shop today. Now this is an EcoBoost model, meaning it has an inline 4-cylinder, single turbo from the factory. It's manned with a 6-speed manual transmission. Now this customer has converted his Mustang into a Batman themed Batmobile. We did remove the factory spoiler and repair the factory holes in the trunk and do a color match on the trunk, and he installed this Batman style wing. To each their own, but we do have a pretty good color match there. He's got some Batman decals and of course, you know, a vinyl wrap Batman hood. But basically we installed a ZEX wet nitrous system, meaning it mixes nitrous and fuel together. That sprays in the intake, and a lot of nitrous kits will also have dry shots, which means a lot of times they'll have a standalone fuel system to increase the amount of fuel to make up for the amount of nitrous that they're spraying inside the intake. So anyways, I'm going to start off inside the trunk, guys. Inside the trunk we did mount our 10-pound nitrous bottle. Now this bottle has been filled. I'm going to pull my light out, and you can see here we went through the factory carpet, and inside the steel we drilled some holes and we inserted 4 nut certs, and then we used some bolts to go through the carpet to mount the bottle brackets, mounting the bottle. Now you can see we have a 4N line going through the carpet there. It runs just behind the bottle back here, and underneath the carpet there was a rubber plug that we were able to utilize, and we ran the 4N 16-foot line all the way up to the engine compartment. So there you have it. That pretty much is about it as far as the bottle install. Looks pretty good. It fit nice on the side there, leaving plenty of room for his trunk. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood. If I can do this one-handed. Just give me a second. We are going to, there we go. All right, so up under the hood, I'm going to continue forward with the 4N line. Now, of course, underneath the vehicle, we routed it securely. We were able to drop the plastic skid shield for the fuel lines down. We were able to run the 4N line of nitrous alongside the fuel lines and right up, and we followed the fuel line right up into here. Now you can see this longer cable right here. That is our steel braided 4N line from the nitrous bottle. Now that feeds right into our solenoids. Now we have 2 solenoids, one for the fuel, one for the nitrous. Now we do have a little T union right here, and we have this sensor. That sensor is for our nitrous pressure gauge, which you do have mounted inside the cab. I'm going to show you guys that real quick. And you can see our nitrous pressure gauge right there. Of course, it doesn't have much pressure in the line because it's been sitting all night and it was used last night, but we do have our nitrous pressure gauge there. So we're going to go ahead and turn the ignition off here. Kind of goofy because there's no key, but back up front. So that goes into our nitrous solenoid. Now I'm going to go briefly over the fuel solenoid as well. Now we also installed a fuel pressure gauge as well in there, and when we did that, we had a nice little fitting that we were able to tee off right in between the factory fitting. And it also had a block off plug. Now it's really hard to see, but you guys can see the purple 4N line going right into that red fitting. Now that red fitting is a NOS Systems fuel filter. Now it was a 1/8 pipe thread to 4N line adapter. Now that threaded right into the block off hole of the fuel adapter. And that sensor, of course, goes to the fuel gauge. So basically we tapped our factory fuel system right there, and we went right into another 4N fitting, right into our fuel solenoid. Now, from there, We have some short 4N lines going right into our intake. Now this vehicle is turbocharged, so we're not going into the intake where the filter is. We're going just before the throttle body. Now, from the factory, this EcoBoost Mustang does have a rubber charge pipe. Now, we can't fit this splitter into a rubber pipe very nicely, so we went ahead and got a small 90-degree 2 3/4 inch elbow. It is aluminum, and we did have to cut it in a couple positions to get the fit just right. And we also purchased a 2 3/4 inch coupler. We got one that has a little bit of a hump in it, so we could bend it just a little bit to clear our intake. We got 3 T-bolt clamps, 2 there for the coupler and 1 down there for the factory charge pipe, which we did have to cut to mate up to the aluminum charge pipe section that we added in. Now, really the only reason we added this charge pipe section in is to install the fuel and nitrous splitter. Now, you can see we drilled a hole into our charge pipe, and we inserted this threaded nut cert, and then we were able to tighten in our fuel and nitrous splitter. Now, that does have to be positioned just right because it does have a little spray nozzle inside that has to be directed directly towards the throttle body. So there is our fuel and nitrous lines. Now, in between these fittings, that fitting and that line, there is jets. Now, each jet is corresponding to the factory fuel pressure and the amount of nitrous you want to run. The instructions do give you a little chart, and based off what you want to run, you insert the little jets in between those 2 points. You go ahead and secure these lines, and you are set to go. So that pretty much does it for the fuel and nitrous solenoids. There's not a lot of places to run these kits. A lot of these kits are pretty universal, and they don't give you too much slack. So we were able to utilize a little factory tab coming off the strut tower right there, and we were able to utilize the brackets, and we got everything fit really nice. We did use liquid Teflon on all the pipe threads. The AM fittings, of course, don't need any Teflon tape or paste, so you don't have to worry about those. Those do secure and seal tightly without any thread paste, but on all the MPT fittings, you do want to make sure you put some like liquid Teflon paste. And there you have it. So you can see we have some wiring here. We did tap off some wiring inside the fuse box as far as our relay. You can see we have a fusible link right there. We can have our relay tucked down there. So we did tap off the power and have to run some wiring up and over to these solenoids. But inside the cab, how to activate those solenoids is inside the cab. Now I'm going to go over that real quick. So with the vehicle ignition on, we do have this red switch right here on the center console. We were able to pop this cover down here loose. There was a couple screws we took out, and we were able to actually get up inside here, and we just drilled one hole, and we mounted our switch. So there is our on and off system. That makes the system hot, and of course you can turn it off like that. Just have this little cover on here. You can use any sort of switch. The switch did not come with the NOS system. This is something we got from the auto parts store. So there you go. So to activate the system, you do turn this on, and that will make the solenoids live but not activated. Now, to activate these solenoids to actually spray the nitrous, we put a wide open throttle switch on the pedal accelerator, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second. So basically, when you have 100% full throttle, the nitrous will be spraying. So you can just basically, when you let off and shift, the nitrous will stop spraying, and when you shift and you go floor the pedal again, it will start spraying again. So you turn that on. Of course, I'm going to turn it off for now, although the vehicle is off. Up under here, you can see our accelerator pedal. Now you can see this little micro switch right here mounted. It has this little lever on it that activates our solenoids. So basically, with the nitrous system, solenoids switch live and you turn it on, You can be downshifting to second or third. You can be 3/4 throttle or so, like right here. And you can basically, as soon as you're ready to go, you can full throttle, let off, shift, full throttle, it's spraying, let off, shift, full throttle, it's spraying, and you can let off. So you get the point that it's only going to activate when you're 100% down to the floor. If you let off a little bit, you're not going to be fully activated. So that is a good position to mount your full throttle switch if you are drive-by-wire, which is an electronic computer controlled throttle body. So there is our full throttle switch. If you have, you know, of course you have like mechanical throttle linkage, a throttle cable, mechanical throttle body. Of course, you can mount that full throttle switch on the throttle body itself. But in this case, we are drive-by-wire, so we did mount the full throttle switch on the pedal assembly. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a little quick example of Mikey showing us, running us through. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a quick little example of Mikey running us through the install.
So car on, switch off. No solenoid action. Armed, hot. Full throttle.
All right, guys, you guys probably got the gist of it. Mikey went over how the full throttle switch works, so you guys probably heard the solenoids activate on and off. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave a question in the comments. I'll be happy to answer anything. We did actually take this vehicle on a few pulls. It performed nicely. Of course, we could up the jetting size and actually get some more power out of it. This was a 50 shot. It definitely was an increase in power. I think it could handle a 75 to 100 shot, no problem. I do recommend some tuning and taking it to a dyno to install those jetting and actually make sure that you are safe to run that amount of nitrous. So anyways, like this video, leave a comment down below. All right, guys, so you guys probably get the gist of it. Mikey ran us through the switch situation. All right, guys, so you guys probably got the gist of it. Mikey went ahead and ran us through. All right, guys, so you guys probably got the gist of it. Mikey went ahead and ran us through the switch situation. All right, guys, so you guys probably got the gist of it. Mikey went ahead and ran us through the switch situation, and you guys saw how the solenoids turned on and off. If you guys have any questions at all, and I mean any question, leave a question in the comments. I will answer anything to the best of my knowledge. We did install 50 horsepower jetting, so it's definitely an increase in power. I do believe on this model, you could definitely install the 75 to 100 shot jetting and be just fine. I do recommend doing that with a tuner and with a dyno, just to ensure the safety of the vehicle. But I do believe that this vehicle could handle more power for sure, but the 50 shot is definitely a nice little bump in the power. And so anyways, make sure you guys like this video, leave a comment down below. If you guys haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Rah!
Are we gonna play now? Ready for the show? I'm about to take down, you already know. Get the fuck out of my face now, yeah, you gotta go. Man, I'm on the chase now, leave me on my own. I got a chance to break now, yeah,